This video is brought to you by my Dining on a Dime cookbook, gluten-free, dairy-free edition. I have easy recipes that get you in and out of the kitchen quick. You don't have any of that grainy taste that comes with gluten-free recipes. All taste like regular food your family will love. Even the members of my family who don't have to eat gluten-free love eating my gluten-free cooking. Go to livingonadime.com and get your copy today.
Super good. Kind of addictive, you know? Yeah, I'm on my third one.
I am making gluten-free, dairy-free chocolate chip cookies. Oh my goodness, these are so delicious. Now, if you want fluffy chocolate chip cookies, use shortening. If you want crispy chocolate chip cookies, use ghee or butter or dairy-free butter. Any of those are fine. I'm using ghee. And then I have my sugar and my brown sugar. Now with gluten-free baking, if you guys know, if anybody knows me from my other channels, you'll know that I am a just throw it together kind of a baker. But with gluten-free baking, you can't just throw it together. You have to measure because it will not turn out correct if you don't, okay? All right, and then I got my egg and my vanilla. I'm using this vanilla paste a viewer sent to me. This stuff is pretty fun. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is cream all this together. Here's the recipe on page, 278 in my gluten-free, dairy-free edition. Okay, now in here I have a teaspoon of hot water and I'm putting in my half a teaspoon of baking soda. And I'm only doing it in this just so that I don't get a, oops, that's way more than a teaspoon. Uh-oh, I messed up. There we go. Okay, so I got that mixed in there now. And now for my gluten-free flour. Now I have several gluten-free flours. This is my favorite one to cook with, or bake with. But I have a little bit of this one left over. So I am just going to put in there. Now for gluten-free flour, what you want to do is spoon it into your cup, because if you just scoop it out of your bag, then it's going to get too dense. Okay, now this is where American baking fails, because this is actually better to be measured than to be measured by weighing it than to scoop it. Sorry, I was having to think there. Now we're gonna mix this all together. Now with gluten-free baking, you wanna really mix it well, okay? This is not like quick breads and regular cooking. You really wanna mix it well. Am I the only one who absolutely loves raw cookie dough? Okay, now here's another tip that is not in my cookbook, because this was figured out after my cookbook had been written. But if you let your if you let your cookies sit for half an hour before you bake them, they will taste more like regular cookies, because the rice flour will absorb more of the moisture and it won't be so grainy. Okay, so that's the biggest complaint with gluten-free baking, is people don't like it grainy. Well, how you stop that is by letting your mixture rest for half an hour before you bake it, Some people put it in the freezer. They say that helps, but I just let it rest for half an hour before I bake, and then the consistency is almost exactly like chocolate chip cookies. Now, most of the time, I just go ahead and do them like this because I don't really notice the graininess that much, but some people are really particular. So just let it rest for half an hour. So I'm gonna let this rest and then we're gonna come back and bake it. Oh, yum. These chips are not dairy-free. If I'm eating it, I usually do dairy-free chips, but I'm just gonna let my boys eat this because my boys love my gluten-free baking just as much as my regular. It's that good. All right, my cookie sheet and my chocolate chip cookie dough has been sitting for about a half an hour. It'll be interesting to see how this works because I've never done it with ghee before. So I guess if you're seeing this video, it worked. Yes, I test a lot. Oh man, look, just a little bit left. But I don't know how much these are gonna spread, so I don't wanna take any chances. All right, throwing this in the oven and baking it. The recipe is in the description below. Oh my goodness, there is my luscious cookies. Oh, don't those look good? Okay, we're gonna let these cool for just a minute before we put the next batch on so that they don't crumble. Oh my goodness, these look delicious. Okay, now that I know that they don't spread as much with the ghee, I could have fit all of these on there, but that's okay, it's okay. I'm going to break one of these babies open. Oh, crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. That's the way I love them. Oh my goodness. These are so darn cute and delicious. It's not even funny. The perfect gluten-free chocolate chip cookie. Okay, here's my son.
They're super, super good. I don't know what she did, but
They are delicious.
kind of addictive, you know?
Kind of addictive.
Yeah, I'm on my third one.
Save some for your brothers, okay?
Yeah, I probably should.
Today we are making gluten-free chocolate lava cake. To measure your gluten-free flour, you want to spoon it into your measuring cup and then level it off. You don't want it to be too packed or your gluten-free cakes will be too dense and not fluffy. Got our flour, our baking cocoa. This is not the same as the hot chocolate that you make with the mix. This is baking cocoa. And our sugar and our salt, baking powder. I'm going to whisk that all together. Then we're going to add our shortening or dairy-free butter, dairy-free milk or regular milk if you're not dairy-free, and vanilla. Give that all a really good stir and get it all mixed up. Spray your baking dish. Put in your dough. Then we're going to mix our topping. That together. sprinkle it on top of your batter. Then we're going to pour our hot water on top and put it in the oven and bake at 350 degrees. This recipe is in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, gluten-free, dairy-free edition on page 222. Please visit us at livingonadime.com to get your copy today. This recipe is in the description below at livingonadime.com. For this recipe, we're going to need 3/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons of shortening. Now, how I measure shortening is I fill my measuring cup. This is a 2-cup measure. I have 1 1/4 cups of water in here, and I'm going to add shortening until it comes up to 2 cups. That's how I know I have 3/4 cup of shortening. Okay, so now I have my 2 cups. Now I'm going to add my extra 2 tablespoons, and there we are. Then remember, oil and water don't mix, so I just pour out the water and have the shortening left over. And we're pouring our shortening in our bowl. You can use butter flavored shortening if you want, or dairy-free margarine. I am dairy-free, so that's why I'm using dairy-free margarine or shortening. Then we're going to add our sugar. And our vanilla. I have my homemade vanilla here, so I'm just going to measure out my vanilla. And we are going to stir that all together. You can use a mixer if you want, but it comes together really easy with a spoon, so I don't dirty a mixer. Now we are going to add our 3 eggs. One. These eggs must be room temperature. If you go to make your brownies and you forgot to get your eggs room temperature, stick them in a measuring cup with warm tap water for 3 to 5 minutes, and that will warm them up to room temperature. But room temperature does matter in this recipe. Now we're going to add our 1 cup of gluten-free flour. When you are measuring gluten-free flour, scoop it from the bag into your cup. Don't go in and just scoop, because it will pack down too much, and then you will have too much flour and you will have heavy brownies. And then we're going to have 3/4 cup of baking cocoa. Not drinking cocoa, it's not the same thing. When you have baking cocoa, you want to pack it in your measuring cup. So if I'm opening a new one, I just take the foil covering. You can just use your fingers and just press it down. And our salt. We're going to mix this until well combined. Then we're going to add our 3/4 cups of chocolate chips. These are gluten-free and dairy-free chips. I just buy the Nestle's. This is not a sponsored post, but this is the cheapest one that I have found. I just happen to like that brand and it seems to be cheap. Get that mixed in. Then we're going to take our 8x8 pan, spray it with cooking spray. Then we are going to bake in a 350-degree oven. And you will have yummy fudge brownies, gluten-free fudge brownies. My family gobbles these up and they're not even gluten-free. What's your opinion of them, Dave?
Very good.
Very good, huh?
Salivating behind the camera. Excited for the food.
And you get to lick the bowl again. Isn't that great?
Wow.
All right, so how you tell if your gluten-free fudge brownies are done is you take a toothpick and you put it in the side, not in the center, in the side. And when it comes out, you want to have crumbs, but not raw. So you can see right there is still some raw, so I'm gonna put it in for 5 more minutes.
And action.
Okay, we're gonna test one more time. Perfect. See how there's crumbs, but it's not wet? Now, leave this in the pan to completely cool. It is still going to continue baking just a bit longer in the warm pan, but you don't want to keep baking it in the oven because you'll overbake it and then they'll be dry. So we're going to let these cool and then we are going to cut and enjoy. All right, our brownies are cooled. Now here's a trick to cutting brownies. Use a plastic knife and it cuts smoothly through the brownies. Here we go. Oh, yum. Oops, it crumbled just a little bit there. There is your absolutely divine gluten-free, dairy-free brownies. This recipe for gluten-free fudge brownies is in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, gluten-free, dairy-free edition on page 284. You can also get the recipe in the description below on our website. You're actually salivating?
Yes, I'm actually salivating.
Ooh.
Oh, you're gonna put this in, aren't you? Oh.
This recipe is in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, gluten-free, dairy-free edition on page 226. You can get it 25% off right now at livingonadime.com. a chili cook-off at school, and we are to take cinnamon rolls. So I am making my gluten-free, dairy-free cinnamon roll muffins from our Dining on a Dime gluten-free, dairy-free edition. It is on page 58 right there. Now, gluten-free cinnamon rolls are kind of hard to make because the dough falls apart really bad. So I did the cinnamon roll muffins because that way you're not having to worry about your dough falling apart all over the place, and you'll just still have the great cinnamon roll taste without the pain in the rear cinnamon roll disintegration. That's what I was trying to think of. Thank you, dear. Okay, so now what we need is our gluten-free flour. Once again, I use the all-purpose Walmart, but you can use any one-for-one flour. Scoop your, well, that didn't do very good. Spoon your flour into your measuring cup. Don't scoop your measuring cup into your flour because you get too much then. Okay. So now, there we go. So 1 and a half. Okay, there we go. Now, add xanthan gum if your one-for-one flour does not have xanthan gum. Mine does, so I'm not adding it. Then I'm adding my salt and my sugar. Oops, I think my measuring cup has a problem there. Yeah. Yeah, because I have such a, oh no. Okay, so I'm out of baking powder. So let me show you guys, for those of you who watch my other channel, Living on a Dime, this is how I use my stockpile, okay? I'm out of baking powder. So here's what I do. Ready? Insert music mic. Here we go. Look at my beautiful picture I got for $10. Isn't that pretty? And then we come in. Oh, no. Don't tell me. Oh, thank goodness. So I just use my stockpile. My stockpile is not something that I keep separate from my other food. I just use it all the time. Now, back to the video. Oops. Are you ready? Well, I was thinking about it. I don't know, we'll see. Now we're back. Okay, so now I need 2 teaspoons baking powder. Now, always check the expiration dates on your baking powder because if it's expired, baking powder does not go but a couple of months past the expiration date. So if it's expired, your baked goods aren't going to rise. So then what I do is I just stir around my dry ingredients. Get those all mixed. Get my egg and my dairy-free milk. If you're not dairy-free, regular milk is fine, but I am. You can use any of the milks. Oat, almond, coconut, flax, cashew, any of those are fine. And then I have homemade vanilla. Oh dear. Wow. Oh boy, they're going to be having fun at the cook-off tonight, aren't they?
The chili too.
All right. Now, the next thing you need is butter flavored shortening, but I don't have any butter flavored. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use regular shortening and add butter extract flavoring. Butter extract or flavoring. Okay, let me melt this in the microwave. Okay, while this is microwaving, shortening is imperative. You can substitute butter or margarine if you want, but they are not gonna turn out the same. Shortening gives it the fluffiness that makes all the baked goods in the store taste good. So you can substitute if you want, but the product, but the cinnamon roll muffins are not gonna come out the same. All right, well, that's finished melting. I'm going to put in my butter flavor. This bottle lasts me like 3 years. So, okay, that's probably melted enough. So then, got it in, break up my egg. Stir it around. Whoa, sorry about that. Now you can use a mixer if you want. I don't feel like messing up a mixer right now. Just get it all mixed in. Why dirty a mixer if you don't have to? This will just be arm day. Make sure you get it all down in the bottom. Okay. Now, next what we're going to do is we are going to take our dairy-free butter. Now, this is just homemade ghee that I have. And we are going to soften it. It's already actually softened, so I'm good with that. Oh, no. Are you serious? Oh, my goodness. Okay, now I got to go back downstairs and get brown sugar. No, I don't. Huh? I have brown sugar in my trusty pantry right there. Oh, thank goodness. I didn't really feel like going back downstairs. Oh, well. See, I just do that instead of the gym, right?
Yeah, arm day.
Okay. Now, my brown sugar. If your brown sugar is hard, you can put it in the microwave. Cover it with a moist paper towel for 20-30 seconds. If you're not in a hurry, put a piece of bread in here, close it up, and it will soften your brown sugar for you. Or watch Mike's video. Okay, then my gluten-free flour. Now, this is the topping that we're making now. For this one, it doesn't have to be exact. That's why I'm scooping it out of there. Just approximate is fine. This is just the topping, so it's not going to matter. If I get too much, I guess I should have finished that sentence. Okay, so then, now note, I'm using it in the measuring cup, so I'm not dirtying another pan or bowl. I mean, dirtying another bowl, I guess. I don't believe in using 1,000 different bowls for all this kind of stuff. Just like so. All mixed in. Okay, now there's your topping. Now, what you're supposed to do, according to the recipe, is take and put blobs of this in your dough and then put it in your muffin tins. But I want to make sure that every muffin has a little bit of cinnamon roll in it, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill them after I spray them with cooking spray. Okay, By the way, guys, I got this cooking spray at a yard sale for $1 from a restaurant that was closing. So look at different places for your baking stuff. And so I also got these muffin tins from the same place. So what I do is I put a little bit in each cup first. Okay, so now I have a little bit in each cup, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and put a little blob of cinnamon roll in, and then the cinnamon, what do you call it, topping in, I guess. Then what happens is the dough will go around it. As it rises, it'll mix in, and you'll have like a little bit of cinnamon roll in each one. Now, like I said, you can drop these in your batter. That's perfectly fine. It's either way, it doesn't really matter. Just since I've written the book, I realized I like this method a little bit better. Okay, then I'm going to take and put just a little bit more in each muffin tin. I need to finish my sentences, don't I? I'm not very good at finishing my sentences. It's because I'm just concentrating so hard. Make sure I get all of this yummy goodness. And I'm salivating thinking about all the yummy cinnamon rolls that I don't get to eat. Oh my goodness, how in the world did I manage that? Oh wow. Look at, absolutely perfect for the last one. I have no idea how I managed that. I never usually get it that close. Okay, now this one maybe needs a little bit more. Spread that one. Kind of make them as even as possible. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and just spread them in just a little bit more. Gluten-free baking, it doesn't spread as well as regular baking. So I just go in and make sure it's a little bit more even, just because that's what I do. Okay, now my oven is at 350 degrees. All right, there we go. Now we're gonna let it bake. Guys, if you love these videos, please hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. This lets YouTube know you love my videos, and hit the notification bell and click all notifications so you will get all of my recipes when they come out. All right, my cinnamon roll muffins are almost done, so I'm gonna make up the glaze. You've got your powdered sugar. I just rinsed out my measuring cup. And then my little bit of milk and vanilla. Oops, there they are right now. Okay, so we're gonna get the glaze done, then I'll get them out of the oven. Now, to make a glaze, you just kind of add just a little bit of milk until it gets to a thin consistency, just like so. Now, if it's too thin, you can add a little bit more powdered sugar. If it's still too thick, just add a little bit more milk. I think that's a little too thin, so I'm just going to add a little bit more, or a lot more. Actually, I meant to add about half of that amount. But we just had a big Halloween party 2 days ago, and now we're having a big dance. And it's 2 days later. So I'm not with it. Okay. There. Now we're getting to the consistency I want. That's about the consistency I want. See how that's kind of a thick pudding consistency? That's what you want. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to check the cinnamon roll muffins to see if they're done. Ooh, I think they are. Okay. Yep, comes out clean. Perfect. Now, okay, now we're going to let these cool for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're going to glaze them. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Okay, so now we're going to take the glaze and drizzle it on top, just like so. Whoa, whoops. Oh dear. Oh no.
That's mine.
Had an issue. Let's see, would this be a good thumbnail for this one? Maybe. Okay, now see this one that's falling apart? That's gonna be my tester.
You know what? If you add more glaze, then it won't be obvious that it's falling apart.
Oh, it won't?
No.
But then I can't test it. Okay, so you can see the cinnamon roll part right there. See the cinnamon roll part? Okay, here we go. Okay. That is delicious. Oh my goodness. Perfection. am making a gluten-free cherry loaf. Now normally I would use my white cake mix in my Dining on a Dime gluten-free, dairy-free edition. But I know everybody likes using cake mixes, so I thought I would give this a try and see. I've never made this before. I wish they had it just plain white. I don't know why they have it with sprinkles in it, but we'll give it a try anyway. Okay, so I got my oil and oops, wait, I did this wrong. Okay, now with gluten-free baking, guys, you have to follow the directions exactly, because if you don't, it probably won't turn out. Okay, so let me follow the directions exactly because I don't want to mess it up. Okay, so I've got my oil and my eggs. Then I've got my milk. I got a little too much in there, so I'm not gonna pour it all in. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this all up. Okay, that's what frothy looks like. So now I'm going to put in my cake mix. Oh shoot, you know what I could have done? I could have sifted out those dumb sprinkles. Oh well. Okay, those sprinkles are going to totally ruin my batter. So I have another mix, and I should probably just make another one. Is that gonna work to strain it? This is probably a dumb idea. So, I have a lot going on behind the scenes that I getting interrupted, which is fine, but it took me a little bit longer than I had anticipated, so I'm going to keep beating this for just a minute more. Alright, got my maraschino cherries. Okay, so I have my cherries here, and what I'm going to do is soak up some of the oh, that didn't work. Oops. Mistakes were made. Oh dear. Okay. My son is laughing at his mother, saying, "Oh brother, mom, what did you do now?" Ah, now I'm losing them even more. Aw. 5-second rule. Oh, gross. Okay, just sit right there.
These candy cherries?
Huh?
You make candy cherries?
Yeah. My day is not going very well. I got sick kids. I'm sick. Trying to get videos filmed before my husband leaves to go out of town, so he can get my thumbnails and descriptions made. Okay, so I'm trying to get as much cherry juice out as I can, just so it doesn't color my batter. Okay, I could use a regular loaf pan, but I really like this old-timey one. I just think it's cool. So what I'm gonna do is going to line this. Okay. So then I have my batter. And I'm gonna drop in my cherries. And I'm just going to fold them in so they don't turn my batter pink, hopefully. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna set my pan here. And I'm going to put in since I lost half my cherries on the floor, I'm going to get a few more. And I'm going to put these on top. Oh my goodness, these stupid things don't want to stay. Okay. You guys had any clue what's been going on around here behind the scenes? You'd be saying, Tara, how are you still going? I do not know how I'm still going. I am just forging on. Okay. Get a couple more. Let's just see if this works. I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm gonna put this in the oven and bake it at 350 degrees. Alright, I got my gluten-free cherry loaf here. Now, gluten-free bread takes a really long time to bake. And I think I had this in for an hour and a half. I sort of had several meltdowns happen all at once. And I was dealing with the kid passing out, and we are all really sick. So, that really looks lovely though, doesn't it? Now, all the cherries did just fall down into the top there. There we go, I'm gonna slice it. Now, I did put a piece of foil over the top to keep it from getting browner. Also, if you want, you could put a vanilla glaze or just drizzle some vanilla frosting on top. Oh, 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 that's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness. 10 out of 10. Okay, so let me try a piece here. Make sure I don't have a thumbnail, please. Thumbnail piece here. Okay, this one probably won't be a thumbnail piece. Oh, that is delicious. If you want, you could probably put a little bit of cherry extract in there too. You would never know this is gluten-free. You'd never know it. Oh my goodness, yum. 10 out of 10. I'm making gluten-free, dairy-free if you want, sugar cookies. Got my egg there. I know I'm gonna get, can I use butter? Yes, you can use butter, but they will not be soft. They will be crunchy. So that's up to you. Shortening is what makes the fluffy dough, okay? So we're gonna get this mixed in. You do need your vinegar for no matter what. The vinegar is what helps make it rise. Okay, So just use rice or soy. I'm using regular milk just because I'm making this for my boys who aren't dairy free. And then we are adding our baking powder. This recipe is in my Dining on a Dime cookbook, gluten-free, dairy-free edition on page 283. You can take a picture right here or click the QR code, go to my website livingonadime.com, or click the link in the description below. And my baking soda. And the recipe doesn't call for it, but I'm gonna test just to try a titch of salt and see what it does. Okay, and then my gluten-free flour. Now, for gluten-free flour, you want to scoop from the bag into the measuring cup, or pour it in if you want. You don't want to pack it in there, because if you pack it, it will get too dense, and then your cookies won't be fluffy. Okay, then we're gonna mix all of this together. I'm not putting the xanthan gum in because I already have it in my gluten-free flour. All right, now with gluten-free flour, you want to mix. You cannot over-mix this. You just have to mix the living daylights out of it, okay? But what I've discovered since I wrote my book is let your dough sit for 20 to 30 minutes, because then the flour can absorb all of the moisture, and then it doesn't taste grainy. Now, with my recipe, it's really not gonna taste that grainy, so if you don't have time to let it sit, you don't have to. But for optimum softness, non-graininess, let your dough sit, and then that flour can absorb all the moisture, okay? So I'm gonna let mine sit, and then I'm gonna come back, and I think I'm gonna try and shape this into hearts because it's Valentine's Day. So I'm gonna see if I can do that. I don't know if it's gonna work, so we'll see. Okay, now to roll out sugar cookie dough, you can't add more flour because it'll just make it really stiff. So what you need to do is get kind of as equal as possible. Now this is just used parchment. I am not celiac, I'm just gluten-free, so I don't need to be like ridiculously careful like someone who's got celiac, thankfully. Okay, and then just roll it out. But you don't want it too thin. Probably good there. Okay, now I've never done this before. I'm just testing to see. Ooh, that's probably a little too thin. Yeah, that's gonna be too thin. Let's do it like this. There. That's a better size. Now, normally I just put blops on there. So I don't know if this is gonna work with the bits. Maybe not. It's a little too soft. Well, I don't know, maybe. Maybe? Okay, so normally what I do is I just take and make little balls. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some water. Now, if you're going to decorate them, you do not have to put the sugar on top. But for me, I like the crusty sugar top. What I might do is try and decorate these three here if they turn out. But I'll show you how I normally do it with just the regular sugar cookie here. So then to make the nice sugar coating, like traditional sugar cookies, just put a little bit of sugar on top. Now, we're going to put these in the oven and bake them. All right, here they are, all done. Oh, yum, I love sugar cookies. Now, these actually kept their heart shape fairly well. Now, do not overcook these. If you overcook them, then they'll get hard. But if you keep them just at the 5 to 10 minute mark, some stoves might need 12 minutes, but you want to see that it's not raw. You can look in the cracks here and you can see that it's not raw inside. If you make a batch and you didn't cook it long enough, then the next time you make them, just know you need to cook it like 2 to 3 minutes more longer. Now I leave these on the tray to cool, and that finishes cooking just a little bit with the residual heat. So we're gonna let these cool down for about 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna taste test. Oh my goodness. Oh, yum. Oh, yum, yum. Perfectly soft, gluten-free sugar cookie. Okay, I'm going to, these are still just a tad warm. I'm going to let them cool just a minute, and then I'm going to frost these and show you what they look like frosted. There you go, perfectly soft, gluten-free sugar cookies. Yum.